everybody, I'm the Velvet Sparrow.
And I'm a surgeon.
Oh.
And I'm our hero 456.
Yeah, we are back with Katawa Shoujo. I know, it's been far too long. But there's a perfectly good explanation for it.
We got lazy.
Basically. So, now we're back. And hopefully, Hisao and Emmy learn how to finally keep it in their fucking pants for 5 minutes.
I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not. Okay, anyways. I leave the room after finishing my final exam and breathe a sigh of relief. As I'd hoped the exams weren't so bad, I managed to breeze through just about everything but the English final. Even that was acceptable. I wonder how Emmy did. Even more so, how she's doing. She looked terrible at lunch today. I mean, she was pretty happy to be out of her wheelchair, but she's so exhausted. Something's been wearing her down, and I'm really starting to doubt that it was just the exams. Should I confront her about this, though? My musing is interrupted by a tap on the shoulder.
Hey, Hisao. Got a minute?
Suppose I can spare a few minutes? Yeah, I got some time. Nowhere important to be or anything like that. Mutou raises an eyebrow as if questioning my statement, but then beckons me back into the classroom.
I wanted to get some feedback from you if I could. I know that this course wasn't quite up to your level.
Oh, don't worry about it. Science club activities more than made up for it.
Did they? Well, in fact, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Do you think that was a worthwhile activity? Just for my own reference.
Yeah, there's a great way to go further than we did in class. It's definitely worthwhile. Mutou seems delighted by my response.
That's great. Exactly the sort of thing I was hoping for. You know, Hisao, I'm glad you came here. It's always good to have a student who really gets into the subject you teach. That's sweet. In a way, it makes dealing with the rest of the students more tolerable. Ow!
That immediately takes the whole thing back.
Yeah. You're a bright kid, too. You took this stuff like a duck to water. Or some other such simile.
Thanks. You're a great help, especially with that college stuff.
There's one more thing, Hisao. A bit of advice from one scientist to another.
Wear protection.
Okay.
What's that?
What does a scientist do?
Observe the world around him.
Exactly. Good. A simple question, but one that most people can't seem to answer. That's the essence of science, Hisao. We observe what's there and try to figure it out. But what if there's something you can't figure out? What's a scientist to do if he can't observe something? Well, blind scientists exist, Mutou.
Yeah.
How, for example, can we talk about quarks when no one has ever actually seen one? Or black holes when just observing them directly is impossible?
Well, scientific equipment's pretty advanced. Mutou irritably waves away my response.
No, that's not it at all. Those are tools. I'm trying to give you a philosophy. Think, if you can observe something directly, then how can you observe it?
Guess?
How? How would you guess the movement of a cork? What is your guess based on?
Of course. I should have thought of it earlier. The things it affects. Mutou claps his hand together excitedly and whoops.
Yes, exactly. Good. Remember that, Hisao. If you can't examine something directly, it's because you're looking at it wrong. You have to look at it differently if you want to uncover the truth. And if it eludes you, then look what it leaves behind. That is the essence of being a scientist. We never stop looking for the answers. Never take anything for granted. Observe, experiment, and observe some more. There's a lot of stuff out there that makes no sense, Hisao. Your job is to get it to make sense. If nothing else, I hope you've learned that here.
I think I can remember that. Mutou smiles, satisfied.
That's adorable. The relationship between teacher and student. Good. Now go enjoy your time off. You've earned it.
I leave the room feeling pretty confused. What brought that on? Although, am I going about this thing with Emmy the wrong way?
Hopefully not. As Tiny Tina would say, she got a booty like...
Damn. If she won't tell me, then can I go about it some other way? The question keeps spinning in my head even after I made my way back to my room. What if she gets angry about it? Besides, what if it's nothing? If I go in and refuse to leave until she tells me what's wrong or something, will that come off as clingy?
Probably.
I don't want to start a fight or anything over something like this. Maybe I should just drop the matter and see how she is tomorrow before I do anything. Would that be so bad to just let it go? It's not like we don't enjoy each other's company. As odd as it sounds, I really want to help her. I don't even know what with or if there's anything she needs help for. But I want to. Suddenly, a knock at my door rouses me. And it's him again. I see it and open Kenji.
Hello, my fellow nerds!
Oh, it's you.
It's me! It's me. That's it? If you had any idea what I'd been through, what I'd done, you'd be happier to see me, dude. I mean, that was some epic you may never see me again shit. I was straight up fighting Thanos with my butt cheeks hanging out. And here, you're just acting like I went down to the store for some milk.
Oh god, that makes it better.
You're a cold man, Hisao. I really respect that.
Thanks, I guess?
It's smart to play it safe, you know? Don't show any emotion. Be the edgelord you want to see in the world. Keep your cards close to your chest. Unless it's time to show your cards or you have bad cards. Then you should fold or collect your winnings. Do you understand?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So I take it the mission went well?
Whoa, awfully nosy of you, isn't it? You think Batman would just tell his contingency plans to the Justice League? You can't just go saying things like that. Things are at a delicate stage. One wrong move, and bam! The invasion succeeds and we're all locked away in chastity belts like Sneeko.
I thought you were going to blow the conspiracy wide open.
It's bigger than I thought. I need to update my charts. They're not just going to be putting us in chastity belts. They're going to be locking our dicks away forever. And something called a null bulge. And probably change some of the puppets around. You want to help? I've got some whiskey from somewhere. You can fill me in on everything your investigation has turned up.
Oh, he's got whiskey. Oh no.
Well, that explains why he acts like a drunk idiot.
No, I mean like the whiskey's gonna be important for the sixth ending. I mean.
Oh.
Yeah.
That ending doesn't have to deal with Emmy, does it?
No, it's the bad ending.
Oh, okay.
I still haven't found a guide in order to like actually get it.
Huh. Strange. Yeah, there are guides for every other ending in this game except that one?
Yeah.
Huh. Guess the Katawa Shoujo fandom's really screwing the pooch.
Better not. I'm supposed to meet her today.
There's your line.
Gotta go. Gotta go do that. Can't raise suspicion.
Just imagine Kenji just fucking gives you a goddamn salute like you're a soldier.
Kenji nods in approval.
Still keeping it close to the chest, eh? Okay, man, I respect that. You've got bigger balls than I do. Good luck.
Thanks. I'm just gonna pretend, for the sake of my own sanity, that he's wishing for me luck in talking to Emmy.
Hey.
And if I squint, the whole card analogy was him talking about works here. Time to lay it all on the table. Or see if I can't get Emmy to do so, rather. With a sense of something approaching purpose, I head for Emmy's room. I hop up the stairs leading to her room and knock on the door. Who's there? That's odd. Her voice sounds a little choked. Hey, it's me. I thought I'd stop by. Hisao? Coming in. I reach down to open the door, only to find that it's locked. More and more curious. Your door's locked. Yeah, sorry. Give me a minute. In a few minutes, Emmy opens the door, grinning. Sorry, had to put my legs on. I was napping. Despite her grin, there's something definitely off. Emmy's eyes are slightly red, and it looks like she's been crying. Hey, no problem. You okay? Huh? Yeah, I'm fine. So you look like you've been crying. Oh, yeah, Hisao, you're off to a great start with this one. No, I'm fine. I'm just happy to see you. She punctuates this with a long kiss that continues as the door slams shut behind us. I know what she wants to do now, and I'm painfully aware of how badly I want to do it too, but I break the kiss with a wrench of self-control that nearly kills me. Hey, wait! Emmy's eyes crinkle in confusion. Huh? Wait for what? We need to talk. Isn't that supposed to be my line? And never a good thing to say? She's got a point. It's usually a lead into a breakup, or the prelude to a fight. Maybe it can be a good thing this time. That's the hope, anyway. Can we at least get onto the bed? It's my first day back on these things, and I'm still readjusting. Plus, the nurse said I should try to be on them less often, since running puts such a strain on them. Can't argue with that. It's a trap. We both know it, and we both don't care. Then again, it's awfully hard to get angry while in bed with the objects of your affections, so maybe there's that motivation too. I set Emmy's legs at the bedside and sit down next to her, throwing an arm around her shoulders. In silence, we just enjoy being able to be in this position again for a few minutes. Then, of course, I need to ruin it by opening my mouth. Look, I know that you've been having some kind of rough time of it lately. I want to help you out. I thought it was just exams getting to you, but now I come to your room and you've been crying and that kills me. But I can't do anything if you won't talk to me about it. I told you, I'm fine. No, you aren't. It's obvious something's eating at you. You can tell me, you know? There's a slight increase in tension in Emi's voice. Why is my saying I'm fine not good enough? You're concerned. I get that. That's cool. But I'm fine. It's nothing you need to worry about. Not sleeping and spacing out more than Rin doesn't strike me as being fine. I want to help. Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't like seeing you like this. I want you to be happy, you know? I get the feeling that came out wrong because Emi fixes me with an icy stare.
Oh, shit.
So you want to fix me, Hisao? She's definitely getting angry now. Want to swoop in on your white Charger and save the day?
I prefer a white Ford F-150.
Stop the nightmares, the phantom limb pains, restore what's lost. Her voice catches in her throat and tears start to flow. Well, you can. Nobody can. Nobody will. I'm so stunned by her sudden verbal assault that I remain quiet. Neither of us say anything for a while. Surprised that Emi tightens her grip on me rather than pushing me away. After a deep breath, she starts talking again. Look, I'm sorry. There's these nightmares. About the accident. The accident, I should have known. It took her legs, after all, but it never comes up, of course. And I usually deal with them fine because I can run. Running clears my head like nothing else. I don't have to worry about anything while I'm running. I just concentrate on breathing, on the rhythm of things. It's easier that way. Life's easier that way. Just keep moving forward, you know? Nothing else matters. Just gotta get around the next curve. And then it's the next curve, and the next, until I can't go anymore, or think anymore, or do anything but slow down and walk until I catch my breath again. After something like that, nothing else matters. But I've been stuck in that goddamn wheelchair for too long, so no outlet. Today it just kind of boiled over a little. You could have talked to me about it, you know? You didn't have to go it alone. Emi smiles sadly, like she's trying to explain to a child that all fire burns. Yeah, I did, and I do. But why? Why do you have to keep going through this alone? Why can't you just trust me enough to let me help you? That smile again. Emi leans in and kisses me on the cheek, an almost motherly gesture. She leaves her mouth close to my ear as she confesses this one thing to me. Because, Hisao, I've already had everything I knew ripped away from me once. I don't know what I'd do if it happened again. She pauses, as if uncertain as to whether or not she should continue. I can feel a violent churning in my gut. She continues. So I can't rely on you, or the nurse, or anyone else. Just me. That's how it's got to be. Having delivered this short speech, she looks down and covers her mouth with the back of her hand. The conversation is over. I search for something to say, but can't think of anything. Maybe I should go. For now. I've got stuff. Emi doesn't even look up. She sounds tired or relieved. I can't tell which. Okay, Hisao. Go take care of that stuff. I'll see you tomorrow. I get off the bed and head for the door, pausing at the doorway. Hey, Emi? Yeah? 1,000 things I want to say. I'm too mixed up to say any of them, though. After her admitting that she'll never let me close, I feel like my world's just been ripped out from me. What happened in that accident? I know she lost her legs, but it never seemed to bother her. So what happened there? What scares a girl so badly that she won't accept help, even from someone she loves? I don't know. But I want to know. I want to know so badly that being denied that answer feels like a knife in my guts. Hisao? You were saying? I'm still standing in the doorway. Nothing. Never mind. I'm closing the door and walking down the hallway, down the stairs, out the door, into the dark. Somehow I wander back to my own room. My brain's doing a mile a minute, going nowhere fast. I can't figure out how to deal with this. I thought that moving forward was a good thing. Dwelling less on a past that I can't change, living in the present, looking at the future. After this thing with Emmy, I'm not sure about it anymore. She was saying the truth. It's simpler to look at the next curve, ignoring the path gone by. No worry about the opponent left behind. No care for the spectators on the sidelines. And unfortunately, no time to watch out for lagging teammates either. I throw myself down on the bed, looking at one corner of my ceiling as if the answers are a want written there. No such luck, of course. She's literally running away from something, but have I not been doing the same thing? Trying my best to forget about my hospitalization? I'm getting better, but my health isn't going to magically fix itself. Emmy has 2 legs instead of a heart to deal with, but those aren't going to magically fix themselves either. Maybe this is just as fixed as the both of us can get. The room becomes darker and darker until I can't really tell I'm looking at a corner anymore. The morning comes too soon on the heels of a sleepless night. Is this how Emmy's been spending her nights? Staring at the wall or ceiling, trying to stop thinking about whatever it is? Her, in my case? That clenched feeling in my gut is still there. I can't rely on you. Words spoken so casually. Almost like she were teasing me, or chastising me for suggesting the earth is flat. That's how it's got to be. The way it's got to be sucks. I'm feeling so miserable that I nearly decide to skip the run. That would be stupid, though. It's not something I should just do to see. I should do just to see her. Sure, that was the original reason, but it's something more now. I've started to enjoy the running itself. There are worse ways to get the blood flowing anyway. Never thought I'd say that after the first week or so, but I feel a lot better after a run. Like, no matter what else I do today, I've at least done that one thing. It wakes me up, too. Emmy herself said that running away always clears her mind. Maybe it'll help clear mine. I hope so. The morning is cool and clear, if a bit humid. The summer is making itself known, it seems. Emmy's already stretching out when I arrive and greets me with a smile and a wave. Hey, Hisao! The sight of her so chipper is like a kick to the nuts. How can she be so happy after yesterday? Give her a half wave and I'm surprised to receive a hug. Hey, about last night, here it comes. I wanted to say thanks. I actually managed to get some sleep for the first time in a while, and I think it's because of our talk. So, thanks. How could she sleep better after our chat? She basically told me that she just wouldn't get any closer to me. And that let her sleep well? Excuse me, but what the hell? Emmy either doesn't notice my bafflement or chooses not to notice. No telling with her anymore. Oh, no problem. Glad it helped. The venom that threatens to drip into my voice is controlled for now, but I think I'd better start running now before I do anything stupid. Emmy seems equally willing to get started, but before long we're darting around the track. I can tell she feels more relaxed. Her running has gone back to the more graceful movements I remember from when I first watched her. It's stark contrast to the almost brutal way she's been hurling herself around the track these past few days. Our talk really does seem to have helped her. Pity it couldn't help me. I get into the rhythm of the running, thinking back to when I couldn't afford thinking about anything else but keeping my breathing steady and legs moving. Guess those days are gone. At least for the first couple of laps. Annoyed at the lack of success I'm having with clearing my head, I increase the pace. There's a burning sensation in my legs. The breath's coming ragged in my chest, the pounding of my heart, which I still need to be careful about. But it does seem to have gotten stronger. I can feel it pumping blood through my veins. The sound thrums in my ears, but instead of being panicked as I was that day in the snow, instead I'm filled with elation. Yes, it's working! My heart, that fatal flaw that landed me here, has improved. I'm going to keep going now. Maybe one day I'll be able to stop worrying as much. Right now, it doesn't matter that I have no idea what to do about Emmy and me. All that matters is that my arms and legs continue to pump in concert with one another. Nothing else. As I hit the final stretch, I remind myself that running really does help. Not as much as I hoped. I do feel better. As I walk a few laps to cool down, I begin to remember last night in a slightly less emotional manner. Emmy wants me to stay distant from her. I can't bring myself to do so. There's got to be a way around this. Some kind of middle ground I can reach. Not sure what that middle ground is, though. Damn, I was almost feeling optimistic. Nice run, Hisao. You really improved. Nice run. That's all I can hope for now, isn't it? Congratulations, Hisao. You're pathetic. I gotta change my attitude. Well, you know, I am pretty awesome. And yet, I just keep saying things I don't mean. Any second, I'll be as good at hiding my problems as Emmy is. I like to think so. Why should she do this to me? Say something like that with such real affection in her voice that it makes my heart leap. She doesn't mean it. She can't. I must be doing a worse job than I thought because Emmy peers closely at me. Hey, you feeling okay? Maybe we should get to the nurse, huh? I'd hate to keel over on you. Emmy looks a little shocked at my bitter tone. Don't say things like that. You've already done it once before, you know. Why does she act so affectionate? She doesn't really care. I thought she made that clear.
Hisao, stop overthinking shit.
But despite all of that, I find myself apologizing, even though I shouldn't have to. Even though she's probably just putting on an act. Sorry. Come.
Hisao, the Kenji is taking over. Don't let the Kenji take over.
Come on, let's see the nurse. I can't get myself to calm down the whole time. Every time it feels like I've gotten over what happened last night, Emmy does something and says something that shows affection, and I'm back to the beginning. The image of her ending that conversation haunts me. It's like the final twist of the knife that left me feeling bereft of any hope that Emmy and I could be more than what we are. And what are we at this point? Little more than friends who happen to fuck?
Hisao, the Kenji, don't let it win.
And really, it's not like I don't enjoy the time I spend with her. So, said so the other day myself. I very nearly didn't even bring anything up to her. Was just going to hop on in there and let it ride, was I? With this running through my head, I find myself in front of the nurse's office, still brooding as he checks out Emmy. Emmy comes bounding out of the door, gives me a kiss, and darts off to the shower, I assume. Meanwhile, the nurse beckons me into his office and gives me the ritual once-over. Any problems today? Nah, I've been pushing a little harder today than I have in the past, and I seem to be able to handle it. That's uncharacteristically risky coming from you, Hisao. You've been hanging out with Emmy too much. She's rubbed off on you, not necessarily in a good way. At the mention of Emmy's name, I can't help but frown unhappily in spite of my efforts at control. Well, now, this is new, don't you think? Last I checked, your usual response as to Emmy's name was a grin, not a frown. What exactly happened between you two? Because Emmy doesn't seem to be in on it, whatever it is. She looks more relaxed than I've ever seen her in weeks, which is unusual for this time of year. What do you mean by that? By what? For this time of year. I keep trying to find out what's been bothering her, but she clams up as soon as I broach the subject. Then last night she said, let me guess, she won't tell you because she says she can't trust you. And now you're crushed because you thought the two of you were so much more than she seems to think, right? More or less. How the heck did you know? Sal, I'm the nurse. It's my job to know these things. Plus, I've known Emmy for long enough to know that she'd try to do something like this. It's just like her. She says this in a sort of half-affectionate, half-frustrated tone that would seem more appropriate if he had a cigarette dangling from his lips.
Damn.
As it is, he seems willing to make do with the pen. Look, you mind if I give you some advice? Yeah, we might as well take it because Hisao's probably going to keep acting like an asshole if we don't.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's probably... Hold on, let me look on the guide. Well, I found a route to a bad ending, but it's not the one I'm looking for. Yeah, they're all our choice.
Alrighty then.
But we're going to listen to this guy's advice because I want Hisao to stop acting like a butt right now.
I mean, I understand. I actually understand him at this point. Because, I mean, I've been in a similar situation.
What? Because she's clamming up and she doesn't want to talk?
No, like, the whole idea is that she literally said, I can't rely on you, and he's taking it to mean the wrong thing. Like, she's saying I can't rely on you as if she doesn't want to be a burden to him, which is obviously what she meant, but he kind of misheard it and is like, oh, I can't trust you, which isn't actually what she said. She said I just can't rely on you because she's trying not to be a burden to somebody. I've said that to somebody, and they mistook it before because I said it improperly. And I've also had it said to me, and I've accidentally taken it improperly as well. It's a very common situation that happens to people a lot. So, again, I fully understand where he's coming from here.
Well, damn.
Yeah, I get it. Well, you thought he was just being a dick, didn't you?
No, it's like, I thought you were going to say something else, but like, no, like, Jesus, man.
Oh, what you think I was going to say? Thomas?
I thought you were gonna like try to like understand him being angry about it, but then like you went on a completely different direction.
Oh.
Okay. What was it that Mutou said yesterday? If you can't observe the thing, then observe what's around it. Worth a shot. The nurse knows Emmy better than I do, I'll wager. Sure, I'm open to suggestions. Honestly, I'm kind of lost. I've got no idea how to deal with this. I never would have guessed. He grins while he says this. I think he's kidding. Look, here's the deal. Emmy is stubborn. You should know that by now, and if you don't, then you're pretty unobservant, but I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here. I'm so grateful. Anyway, if she's decided that she doesn't want to talk about what happened, then she's not going to talk about what's happened. Has she said anything about what's been bothering her? Even a hint? Well, she says she's been having nightmares about the incident. Really? Making progress then. Good. Well, I guess I can fill you on this without violating my strict non-interference policy when it comes to Emmy making stupid decisions. The anniversary of her accident is coming up soon. She gets depressed around this time because it was a pretty traumatic event considering what she lost. That's the other thing. She acted like she lost more than just her legs. What happened? Well, nope, not going there. You'll have to ask someone else about that because that's a whole can of worms I am not about to open.
Oh, she also lost her dad, too.
Yeah. If Emmy wants you to know, then she'll tell you on her own time. You've just got to be patient, that's all. Why are you even helping me with all this? Because you're good for her. She trusts you, even if you don't think she does. And you've got the best chance out of anyone in the school right now to help her through this time of year. She won't accept my help, but she might accept yours if you don't screw it up. So don't screw it up, got it? I open my mouth to respond, but a knocking sound at the door interrupts me. Hey, you guys still in there? Just a moment, Emmy. Give us a second, give us a second, get our pants back on.
Damn.
The door bursts open and Emmy glares knives at the nurse. Asshole. That ass is mine. Didn't mean to get your hopes up. He knows. He knows. Or she's been talking to him about it, in which case, it's kind of weird to talk to your fucking stepdad about your newly refurbished sex life.
Yeah.
I don't know. How many times do you think the nurse here makes jokes like, oh, by the way, I fucked your mom?
Probably a lot, I would.
Yeah. Hey, can we leave me out of this? Anyway, what's up, Emmy? Forget something? I try to take a more cheerful tone with her. No need to upset her. Two can play the everything's fine game. Actually, I forgot to ask you something. Oh? What's that? You want to come with me on a trip to my house? My mom's making dinner. I thought you might want to join us. Well, of course I accept. Emmy punches the nurse in the arm playfully. Not you, idiot. You were over last week. I was talking to Hisao. Oh, interesting. Meeting the parent. I'd love to go, Emmy. Thanks. The nurse raises an eyebrow and says nothing. Great. I'll be in my room. Swing by after you shower and change into something clean. We'll grab the bus. Sounds good. I'll see you in a bit. This time it's me who leans in for a quick kiss before darting off to my room. What an interesting development. Maybe we're getting closer after all. Maybe Emmy's finally ready to open up a little. Or maybe she's just being polite. And a free meal seems like a good way to apologize for last night. Great. Now I can't decide whether I want to be excited, nervous, or depressed.
Ah.
That sounds like every single day for me. I settle for a combination of all three and hop in the shower. Okay, that definitely sounds like me.
Okay.
Ugh, Jesus Christ. I don't think I like riding on buses. Actually, I think I'm pretty comfortable staying in that as a fact. They sway a lot, they smell funny. You can feel every bump in the road. I'm really not looking forward to this. Plus, Emmy's legs keep making a clanking noise that draws the attention of everyone else on the bus. She's in shorts again. She's got long socks drawn up on her prosthetics so they don't look so obviously false again. That doesn't stop the odd look or two every time her legs bump together with an audible clunk. I shift nervously in my seat, and Emmy raises an eyebrow questioningly. She doesn't seem to mind the stares. Either that, or she doesn't even notice that people are staring. I'm sure she's gotten her fill of odd looks before. After a certain amount of time, I doubt she'd even notice it anymore. Not that she'd ever tell me if I asked. Now, the fact is, I'm not just uncomfortable about the bus. I can't seem to come to terms with the fact that Emmy appears to be trying to bring me closer while at the same time pushing me away. The nurse said she trusts me, even if it doesn't look like it. But I'm not sure I can trust the nurse. He's protective of Emmy, just like I'm protective of Emmy, and I'd be likely to say something that make her look good if anyone asked me about her. So he might just be doing that. Still, there was something about the way he seemed genuinely surprised that Emmy invited me along. Maybe last night's talk helped more than I think, but I'm still worried. Meeting the parents is a big deal, right? Not that I haven't already met Emmy's mother, but that was just his acquaintance. Now it's going to be as Emmy's boyfriend with everything that implies.
Yeah, how will her mom react when she figures out that I fucked her daughter?
Yeah. Hope for seconds?
Ha!
I can feel my heart pounding in my chest. An echo of that snow-covered afternoon that feels like it was so long ago that it might as well be another life entirely. Except then, I didn't know what was going on. I also didn't have medication to help prevent things spiraling out of control. I've come a long way in terms of my physical health, and for the second time today, I feel like I've been able to live normally now, or at least as normally as possible. If only I could manage my relationships as well as I've managed my heart, I'd be in great shape. Well, we're here. Emmy grabs my hand as soon as we've stepped off the bus. She starts heading down the street almost immediately. Come on, we got a couple of blocks into my place. What? Oh, okay. I follow Emmy down the street, watching her confident stride. She's setting a quick kind of pace for just a walk. I guess she's anxious to get there. So, does your mom do this sort of thing often? Nah, not too frequently. Mom's never been much for playing hostess. Oh yeah. Yeah, my dad was always the one pushing her to have people over. This sudden and unprompted reference to her father catches me off guard. And from the look on Emmy's face, I'm not sure she meant to mention him. I think I've only ever heard her talk about him once. All I remember is that Emmy's mom told me that he wasn't around anymore. Oh, your mom prefers solitude. Emmy laughs, either from relief that I didn't ask about her dad, or from finding my statement actually kind of funny. Oh, no, not at all. She's why I'm such an outgoing person, you know. She just prefers to be a guest rather than a hostess. It's less stressful that way, or so she says. Clearly, she's never met her girlfriend's mother for dinner. Emmy giggles again and speaks in a teasing tone. Nervous as hell? You shouldn't be, you know. It's not a big deal. Just dinner at my house, that's all. Yeah, but have you ever brought home a boyfriend before? I confess that part of me dreads hearing the answer to this. I know very little Emmy's past relationships. I don't know if there were past relationships. No, I guess I haven't. Hey, maybe it really is kind of a big deal after all. Oh, good. Now I feel twice as nervous. Though, to tell the truth, I'm pretty happy to hear that I'm the first one. Maybe we got something special after all. Bolstered by this new thought, I've managed to calm down considerably by the time Emmy knocks on her front door. Hey, Mom, open up. We're here. Door swings open, and Mrs. Ibarrazaki stands grinning at her daughter.
Milf Emmy.
The grin is still surprisingly similar to Emmy's. I'm never going to get used to that.
It's just Emmy, but a MILF.
Yes. Oh, I think you were reading her shit.
Oh. People normally wait a few minutes before they start shouting at the door.
And most mothers say hello to their daughters instead of scolding them right away.
Of course. Welcome home, dear. I've missed you.
I think I used to have this exact same look for a kitchen. This is not a Japanese kitchen.
Yeah, it is dead. This is straight up an American kitchen.
Dude, no, you know what this looks like?
What?
This looks like fucking Greg Heffley's house kitchen from the first 3 Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies.
Holy shit, it is!
Yeah, like even the fucking windows, the stools.
Holy shit, it is!
Oh my god! I wonder if this is taken from a set photo and they just didn't even realize it.
It might be. Might be.
I mean, like, it's got the same... Like, I just mean, like, it's got, like, the same... I said the same things that had in common. Fuck, I skipped something.
Yeah.
An affectionate hug later. We're inside. And it's only then Emmy's mom seems to remember I'm actually here. And
hello to you too, Hisao. How are you? I'm begging your daughter.
I'm quite well, thank you. Nice to not have school to worry about for a little bit.
Yes, you finished up your exams. Haven't you? That must be quite a relief for you both.
Why are you making her British?
I'm not trying to make her British, I'm just trying to give her a sexy voice.
Yeah, but your version of a sexy voice makes her sound British.
I guess it does kind of sound British.
Why?
I don't know.
Dude, you're trying to make her sound sexy, and your first decision is to make her sound British? What the fuck?
I don't know, I guess British voices on women sound sexy. Kind of like a Scottish woman voice sounded kind of sexy to me. Look, some voices just sound sexy, okay?
The African accent always sounded sexy to me. Certainly weighed off my mind, that's for sure. And there's a fucking bottle of Mountain Dew right there. Mine too. I think I slept well for the first time in weeks last night from relief alone. If this news is a surprise to Emmy's mother, she doesn't show it. Still, her surprise betrays a note of interest.
Is that so? I'm very glad to hear that, Emmy. You know, I get worried when you get all wound up about, well, exams.
Certainly, Emmy's mother knows something I don't, or rather, she doesn't know that Emmy's told me about the nightmares. That's interesting. Being able to observe how Miss Ibarrazaki covers for Emmy. That protective instinct to make sure that I don't know any more than Emmy's willing to tell me. I suppose Emmy's got more in common with Quarks than I ever realized. Moves around fast, impossible to understand through direct observation, yet she has an effect on everyone she encounters. I wonder if Mrs. Barazaki will figure out that I know about the nightmares, or is she just keeping everything a secret from everybody? Yeah, it's not been as bad a year as in the past. It's not helped me stay focused. Okay, I know that's not true. She even cut off contact outside of school hours during exam week. But she did see me during the day. She told me more than once that morning run was the only thing she looked forward to during exams, so maybe it's not that much of a lie. Either way, it's glad to hear that being around has helped even a little makes me feel a bit better. Emmy's mother raises an eyebrow at this statement. Either she doesn't believe Emmy, or she's as surprised as I am.
Well then, it appears that it's a good thing you two have become so close. I'd tell you to take good care of my daughter, Hisao, but it looks like you're already doing that.
Emmy grins at this and seems to take pride in my having managed to integrate myself with her mother so easily. Actually, I'd say your daughter's been the one taking care of me. She's got me out and running. I've probably been more active since meeting her than I ever was even before. I'd actually never thought of it that much, nor have I ever appreciated the humor in it. I wasn't too active before the heart attack. Pickup games of soccer don't really count since they weren't that common. So now that I know for sure that I have a weak heart, now I run every day, pushing my luck with the help of my medication. I chuckle quietly and then realize I've never finished my sentence. Well, before I had my heart attack and wound up at school here. It comes out so casually. There was a time that I would have thought twice about talking about what was wrong with me at all. But now it just seems too silly. It seems silly to care, especially in the company of Emmy and her mom. Emmy can be so cavalier about a disability, then so can I. I think back to the track meet, where Emmy declared herself the fastest thing on no legs. The fact of her obvious loss has never seemed to bother her, at least not in public. Being stuck in the wheelchair frustrated her, but now, even that was something she dealt with on her own, despite my efforts to the contrary.
There's a way of bringing out the more active side in people. I've never quite figured out how she does it.
Those puppy dog eyes gets. Those puppy dog eyes she gets for starters.
I'm not surprised that she managed to rope you into an exercise routine. Wait, I'm not doing a British accent. I'm trying to do like a Southern accent. If Rin weren't just as stubborn as she is, I'm sure that Emmy would have gotten her out and running with you too. Oh, yeah, it's a freaking Southern accent I'm pulling.
Shit. Oh, wait a second. Doesn't the Southern accent sound closer to what the original British accent sounded like?
Yeah.
Huh. Weird connection. Oh, that reminds me. Rin says hello. We drift to the outer edges of the I drift to the outer edges of the conversation again as we move into the dining room to eat. It smells delicious in here, and the spread that Emmy's mom has produced is impressive. Well, you made enough to feed an army in here.
Is it too much? Well, you can always take some leftovers with you when you go.
Sounds great. I can only handle cafeteria food for so long. Something home cooked would be a welcome change of pace. What he said, Mom. Thanks. The food tastes as good as it smells, and there's a lull in the conversation while we all dig in. Emmy assaults her plate with the usual amount of gusto, and I will admit I set a pretty fast pace myself. We were giving Dragon Ball characters a run for their money.
So, Hisao, I hear that you and my daughter here have gotten rather close. Mm-hmm.
Yours to say something like "not really" is so strong that I open my mouth to say it, but then reassert control. We're close. There's no getting around it. I mean, Emmy's brought me here, hasn't she? Fortunately, both Emmy and Mother seem to take my reaction as a sign that I'm caught off guard rather than considering saying something cruel. I suppose we have. I blame the morning runs myself. You make it sound like a bad thing, Hisao.
Well, I, for one, found it a relief.
Why's that?
Emmy's always been a popular girl, but never made many close friends.
It's a bit of news to me. I've always seen Emmy chatting with her classmates in the hallways. And certainly the whole track team seems to love her. But it is true that she chooses to isolate herself during lunch with Rin and me. Not exactly the sort of behavior one expects from a popular girl, after all. Then again, I've experienced her unwillingness to get close firsthand, so I can't say that I'm surprised.
I was beginning to have my doubts.
Emmy rolls her eyes to the ceiling and then grumbles something I can't quite make out. Huh? What? Was that you just said? Nothing. Mrs. Barazaki chokes on her water, chokes on her drink with laughter.
Been hanging out with the nurse too long, Emmy. I'm gonna have a talk about him about corrupting my daughter.
Oh God, she's gonna whip out the strap-on. Somehow I don't think that'd be very effective. I've learned most of it from you anyway, not the nurse. Oh God, that face.
Don't listen to her, Hisao. She's a born liar.
Like
a Republican.
Oh, I don't know, Emmy. I think your mom has a point. What? You traitor. You're supposed to take my side in this. Yeah, but you did lie about your leg after the meet. Ow! The kick in the shins from the unmistakably plastic foot cuts me off, but not before Mrs. Barazaki's eyes shoot upwards. What about your leg? Fuck.
What about your leg?
It wasn't a big deal. That's not a big deal, that's all. I was just in a wheelchair for a bit. Last few mumble words quickly here being deciphered by Emmy's mother. I expect she has experience with this sort of thing, and a worried frown appears on her face. So that's why
he kept dodging my calls. That bastard, I'm pegging him harder tonight. Oh, Emmy, I know how much you hate being in a wheelchair. No wonder you've been in such a mood lately.
Well, yeah, she's much happier on her feet, so to speak.
Well, of course. She spent enough time in a chair just after the accident.
She didn't get the prosthetics immediately?
No, she had to finish healing up before they'd let her start the sort of therapy you've got to go through to adjust to those things. Especially since she wanted to run on them.
I had no idea. Yeah, it sucked. Oh, did you see Ren's mural at the festival? Emmy's sudden change of talk makes me realize is belatedly that she's been fidgeting the whole time her mother and I have been talking. I should have figured her being a little skittish when it comes to talking about the accident, even around her mom.
No, I didn't make it out to the festival, remember? Although I caught a glimpse of it at your track meet, it seemed pretty weird to me. Well, that's just Ren.
Yeah. I think that's more or less what she was going for. She talked a lot about being dreamlike, or trying to make it dreamlike.
Almost like she wants to go to dreamland. Ren's art is one of those things I don't think I'll ever understand.
It's not surprising. I don't think Ren expects to be understood. She told me once that art allows people to understand stuff that they wouldn't understand otherwise, but all the same, she doesn't think it would actually work that way. I'm surprised that he's talked about this with Ren extensively enough to actually have Ren's opinion, such as it is. Although, I expect Ren could not, if she were so inclined, say the same thing about Emmy's. Unless, of course, Emmy's purposely keeping me in the dark about everything, which is likely, but unpleasant to think about. I drift down this unpleasant train of thought for a while, losing track of the conversation.
Hey, Emmy, I've been meaning to ask. Are you boning this boy? No.
Huh?
Are you going to visit your father this year?
From the way she says it, you'd think Emmy's mother was talking about the weather. From the way Emmy reacts, it's clearly not the weather they're talking about.
Oh, sir, Dad's not dead. That's what I was assuming this whole time.
She flinches, a slight jerk of the head backwards as if she's been slapped in the face. Can we talk about this later? Her voice sounds brittle, strained. It looks as if she had been severely shaken by the question. It seems that Mrs. Abarazaki mistook just how close Emmy and I are. Some things, it seems, are not best conversed about with me around. Her father is one of those things. The accident that took her legs is probably another one of those things. If a reaction to the earlier conversation in between her mother and myself is any indication, it doesn't take Emmy's mother long to realize she screwed up.
Of course we can, dear. I'm sorry to bring it up. I just wanted to ask so I could make plans.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Emmy fidgets nervously as if embarrassed by her own reaction. I confess that her reaction is confusing. She only just mentioned her father to me earlier today. Less than a few hours ago, even. Why does a simple question about when she'll visit her father cause such a strong reaction?
I don't know, Hisao. Maybe because it's a sensitive topic for her.
Unless whatever serenity she claimed to have reached by means of our talk the previous evening has suddenly evaporated. Or it didn't help as much as I thought. Or claimed. I'll, be right back. Gotta visit the little girl's room. Emi gets up suddenly and leaves the table, leaving me and Mrs. Barazaki alone. I'm a little conflicted. Should I go after her or should I stay here? It's obvious that Emi's departure was not based on the call of nature. Something's bothering her, and I have to know what it is. How to go about it. We gotta talk to her mom. If we go the other way, that's the bad ending.
Okay.
Talk to mom. There's an awkward silence at the table for a while after Emi dashes off. I can't think of anything to say. Emi's mother sighs, breaking the silence.
Sorry about that, Hisao. I sometimes forget that Emi's touchy about certain subjects. And I was talking about the wheelchair thing, too.
Should I go after her?
Heavens no. She didn't leave the table to continue the conversation, you know.
If she's troubled, shouldn't someone be there for her?
If it were anyone else, I'd say yes. But my daughter's is stubborn as a mule. If she wants to be alone, it's best to let her be alone. Otherwise, she'll probably say something she'd regret, which would cause you to say something you'd regret. And I'd prefer that dinner doesn't end with one or both of you storming out of the house. If that were to happen, I'd be a terrible hostess, wouldn't I? I've already acted as a fool once today.
That's okay. I shouldn't have brought up the wheelchair, apparently. Mrs. Barazaki frowns, clearly more bothered by Emi's omission than she let on.
I wish she wouldn't do that. It just makes me worry more, you know?
She does this often?
What, running off to the bathroom? No, I can't say she does. Keep injuries from her mother, though? Well, that's a little more common. Every time I catch her lying like that, she assures me that the only reason she didn't tell me is because it wasn't a big deal. Oh, sorry, that's you.
If it's any consolation, I'm sure the only reason I knew about it at all is because I saw her every day. This elicits a dry chuckle from across the table. Mrs. Barazaki sighs, a little sadly.
Still hesitant about getting close to people, huh? I keep hoping that she'll get over that. It's funny, really. She bounced back so well from the accident in many ways. I guess some things never really go away.
From the looks of it, the whole thing still bothers her too. She seems to be a little more willing to talk about the accident without Emi around, though. Hey, I've got a question, if that's alright.
Oh?
What else did Emi lose in that accident? The nurse said that she gets us way nearer the anniversary and she won't talk about it with me.
So you thought I'd fill you in,
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, there's a problem with that request, you know.
Let me guess. You promised Emi you wouldn't tell anyone she didn't want to know. And you don't know if she wants me to know.
Something like that. I promised Emi that she'd be the one to tell people the full story.
But isn't that important? I mean, it's clearly a huge effort on her if she's still like this after so long after the accident happened.
That's true. It did have a long-lasting effect on her. There are a few things that she'll probably never really get over.
For a moment, Mrs. Barazaki looks incredibly saddened, as if an old wound is bothering her.
I suppose there are a few things I'll never really get over either.
Another dry chuckle, and with a shake of her head, Emmy's mother banishes the memory.
Look, there's something you absolutely must understand about the way Emmy thinks about the accident.
What's that?
It wasn't a big deal.
Somehow I managed to keep my mouth from falling open in surprise, but it takes some effort. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I beg your pardon?
Okay, maybe it's not that simple, but it's a pretty accurate summation. Amy believes that the accident did not define her, and that everything she lost that day didn't define her either. She's not that girl who lost her legs. She's the fastest thing on no legs. Her optimism and energy came out of that wreck without a scratch as far as she's concerned.
Yet it goes beyond that, doesn't it? I mean, last night she told me that she refused to rely on me because of losing me too painful.
Not really. You said she won't tell you about the accident even though you've asked her about it before. The reason she won't talk about it when you ask is because, to her, it's not something you absolutely need to know. Even if she wasn't terrified of getting too close to anyone, she still wouldn't talk about it.
She's afraid of being close to me?
Oh goodness me, yes. For all that talk about being unscathed by the accident, you just need an ugly knowledge of how quickly it can all be over. So she's not going to let people get especially close to her. She certainly would resent any implication that she can't work through this on her own.
But I don't think she can.
Oh no? Are you sure you've been dating my daughter and not somebody else? Trust me, Hisao. She could get through it on her own.
But she has nightmares and can't sleep well and
she does this every year. Tell me, if she wasn't able to get through it on her own, do you really think she'd still be alive? She would have killed herself or something equally melodramatic.
So what? I shouldn't try to help her?
I didn't say that. I hate seeing my daughter like this, and knowing that she could rely on someone else would let me relax. You just need to understand that accepting help goes against everything Emmy thinks about herself. And that's the way the world works. If you still want to offer her help, then I guess that's your call. Honestly, I'd like you to. But it'd be silly not to warn you that it's not gonna be easy. You just need to be patient with her. She's already closer to you than anyone else she's ever met at Iwanako.
It sure doesn't feel like we're very close. Good. That makes this part easier. Emmy's voice nearly gives me a heart attack. Wow! Didn't you come back, Emmy? How convenient. Wait, were you eavesdropping? Nope. Just happened to come back at the right moment, I guess.
Emmy, Hisao was just...
Emmy holds up a finger, cutting her mother off. On his way out of the house. Yeah, I know. Emmy's trembling with anger now, looking vaguely betrayed.
Emmy, don't be ridiculous. We were just...
You promised! The pain carried in that last word was almost too much for me to bear. The idea that I could hurt her that much is like being kicked in the gut. Emmy's mother looks similarly pained by the thought.
And I kept that promise. Just listen, there's no reason to go throwing people out of the house.
Emmy's mother seems to be both angry at her daughter's outburst and embarrassed that I'm about to witness it. There's only one real solution to this problem, I think. It's okay, I'll go.
Now really, that seems a little unnecessary.
Don't worry about it. Thank you for dinner, Mrs. Barazaki. And for the advice.
It was my pleasure, Hisao. I'm sorry we didn't get to the dessert.
It's okay. I'll have to watch what I eat anyway. Good evening, Emmy, Mrs. Barazaki. The formality of our conversation, coupled with the fact that I'm getting ready to leave, seems to snap Emmy out of her anger. No, wait, I'm sorry. I've been so... After last night, I just thought, you don't have to go. I take it back. It's okay. I can't help but smile slightly. She could barely articulate her apology, and I really would like to stay. But I don't think I can right now. I need to think about what her mom said. I'm going to need to do that about us. And that's what I'm going to do about us. I don't want to risk accidentally getting Emmy angry again in her current state either. No, I think I'd better leave. You seem pretty shook up, and, well, I'd only wind up trying to help you again. And I know you'd prefer I didn't, so I'm just going to leave instead. But, hey, it's not a problem. You don't want a night on a white charger, right? Just promise me one thing, okay? What? Don't be angry at your mom, okay? She was just giving me some advice, that's all. Emmy nods hesitantly, like this simple idea is all she can grab onto at this point. She's so terribly off balance that I can't do anything about that right now. Okay. See you tomorrow, alright? Running in the morning, don't forget. I can see that I've hurt Emmy by deciding to leave, but there's nothing I can do for her as things stand. And I know that she's too stubborn to admit that she wants me to stick around. I watch various emotions cross Emmy's face as she tries to process everything that just happened. Shortly comes that calm look again, like last night, and that voice that tries so hard to sound careless. Sure, Hisao. See you around. Both of us are unwilling to concede in emotion at this point, and I'm having a hard time keeping up my facade. So I turn on my heel and walk out the door. I shut it behind me, pausing for a moment as the latch catches. My hand... We got a typo!
God damn.
Pausing for a moment as the latch catches my hand on the doorknob. Did I make the right decision just now? Should I have stayed and tried to work things out? No. I decide. Not in front of her mother like that. In spite of everything, I'd rather keep Emmy's mother insulated from the sort of anger that surfaced last night. Even though she's probably used to it, some protective instinct wants me to keep Emmy's image as a cheerful girl intact. With a start, I realize my hand is still resting on the knob. I take my hand away, put it in my pocket, and head down the slowly darkening street. I let out a long breath. The wait until tomorrow morning comes isn't going to be easy. In any case, I think I have to think on what to say to Emmy. I must apologize. I must get through to her somehow. On that account, something has been on my mind for most of the way back to my room. The letter of apology from Iwanako. I was so concerned about my new life when I received it that I didn't even bother to really read it. Now that I find myself in a similar position, my curiosity got rekindled. What did she want to let me know about so badly? If nothing else, reading her thoughts might help me frame mine. I remember tossing it away. Damn, where did I throw that thing? I check under my desk, turns up nothing, look harder to reach, more unlikely locations. Well, I know where my lost sock went, at least. Still no letter, though. So I try to slip my arm under my nightstand and I feel something crinkly jammed between it and the wall. Grunting a little with effort, I reach for my prize and soon manage to bring it into the light. Bingo. I sit at my desk and crumple the paper open. A flick, it turns on the table light. Skipping past the empty pleasantries, I look for the point where I stopped reading. Here it is. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt there are other things I should have said after the incident back in winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it. The truth is, the times I visited you in the hospital made me worried about you. I'm not talking about your health. You seemed more distant and disheartened. It was natural after something like that, I'm sure, but somehow I got the feeling that you had given up on something back then. Happiness, maybe? Giving up on happiness. This sounds unpleasantly familiar. I wanted to somehow express my feelings, but the right words didn't come to me. I couldn't say anything to comfort you. I'm really sorry for not being able to support you when it mattered most, even though I like you so much. At least now, finally, I can be more honest. If I can go back to those quiet days in February and March, I'd tell you not to give up on yourself. That's what I would say. Maybe you wouldn't have drifted so far away if I had just said something. Hope you've managed to get back on your feet on your own. And now that the distance between us is also physical, it also feels more final somehow. I wonder if we will meet again. Perhaps it's for the best if we don't. Still, if you would like to correspond with me, by all means write me back. I'd very much like to hear about your new school and how you're doing. I wish you all the best. Sincerely, Iwanako.
That's sweet.
After finishing the letter, I smoothed it out carefully and set it aside on my desk. Thank you, Hanako. I wanted to answer yes to your question on that snowy winter day, but never got to. By the time we meet again, it was too late. Or so I thought. What would happen if I behaved differently back in that dismally sterile hospital room? I'm sorry, but there's no point in wondering now. But there is no point in trying to forget either. I am who I am because of all that's happened to me, and all I look forward to experience, present, future, and past. The past may have just taught me an important lesson now. Act 4. Motion. I thought our stilts were a little bit higher up.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, that's where we're going to have to call it.
Alrighty then.
Good. I've been the Velvet Sparrow.
I am Hard Hero 456.
And everything we say, everything we do, everything we sing, we do it for love.
Bye, guys.
Bye, bitches.
Oh, and that sing part is going to be very, very, very understandable soon. I'm almost done with my first big rap.
Oh. All right.
Yeah. See ya.